We cannot continue to deny climate science. Global warming will have a catastrophic impact on our planet within our lifetimes and for generations to come. We will face famine, mass migrations, and extinction of countless species. A 3-degree rise in temperatures may not seem much, but it will wreak havoc with sea levels rising as much as 2 meters within this century. We are already witnessing environmental disasters with increasing frequency, with debilitating impact on poor and struggling countries, eventually threatening all aspects of our existence. We are running out of time.
We have a fighting chance to arrest global warming. After 2 decades of denial and circulate debate, our world's leaders are finally engaged. Policies are replacing pledges, and investment is replacing inaction. The fight to contain global warming below 2 degrees by the end of the century is possible, but at a high cost. Currently estimated at $35 to $50 trillion, a majority of which has to be committed early to ensure a long-term carbon-free environment. Governments are making substantial commitments towards this goal, but they will cover only around a quarter of what is needed. The rest must come from private investments and bank loans through economically feasible investments and loans. This fundamental shift carries the same risk to investors and banks, but we have tackled these numerous times through history. Let us set the framework for deconstructing the impact of the transformation towards green energy. It will have both orderly and unexpected elements. The orderly measures with predictable impact will be in the form of surcharges, taxes, and other penalties on fossil fuel-connected producers, distributors, and users. In this scenario, we will know which firms are impacted, but not by how much, and thus the financial transition risk is high. Over time, as we approach the point of no return in global warming trends, we will witness a disorderly scenario. Governments will be pushed to enact draconian measures in the form of an absolute ban on the production and usage of fossil fuels. This will have immediate, visible and quantifiable impact on the creditworthiness of banks' carbon-related obligors and projects. In later phases, if we fail to arrest global warming and there are catastrophic environmental disasters, all banks' obligors will be impacted. The negative impact on banks' carbon producer-related loan portfolios will be visible and quantifiable, but also devastating, not unlike the 2008 global financial crisis. The choice is between proactively curtailing lending to carbon producers and absorb hits to profitability now, or face devastating hits to their entire loan portfolios in the future. This is a complex choice, and would require a new way of thinking and a risk decision framework. The Green RWA Association created and published a climate-extended RWA model that integrates the contribution of the Basel Credit Risk Model methodology, a construct of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and the European Union Climate Mitigation Taxonomy. The GreenCap framework is inspired by this paper and incorporates all of its quantitative algorithms. GreenCap expands the valuation of credit and loan decisions to include the transitional and physical risks of measures to arrest global warming and its financial impact on carbon-related obligors and overall loan portfolios and related exposures. It empowers banks to predictably and economically provide resources to fight to preserve the environment. Let us look under the hood. GreenCap is designed from the ground up to enable banks to assess the evolution of the impact of global warming and mitigation measures on their loan portfolios across potential future scenarios. At its core, GreenCap is an out-of-the-box strategy and decision-making framework for measuring, calibrating, and visualizing global warming risks. GreenCap has 4 core functionalities. First, GreenCap enables the analysis of the impact on borrower creditworthiness across both transition and physical risks. This can be performed across geographies, industries, credit ratings, and individual loan maturities. Other parameters can be added seamlessly to the quantitative construct. Second, the path to green loan portfolios can be plotted and tracked with certitude. Green strategies and loan portfolios can be set, honed, revisited, and proactively monitored as future states evolve. Third, all new loans can be juxtaposed and assessed for their contribution towards meeting bank-specific targets. Fourth, the tool drives internal and external transparency with user-defined templates and reports. Banks are beginning to seek strategic frameworks to address sustainability regulations and to be on the right side of history. While their current loan portfolios are constructed and managed within specific credit risk thresholds, they do not have risk frameworks that incorporate sustainability. GreenCap enables bank managements to view and assess their current exposures and new business to credit-related capital impacts from predictable physical and policy changes. Banks' chief sustainability officers will need to set targets for each of the dimensions of their loan portfolios to establish green targets. GreenCap empowers CSOs to plan for and achieve green balance sheets that work with the policy changes instead of against them. GreenCap monitors business flow, constantly acting as a second line of defense against sustainability targets. New loans can be reviewed before being approved, and loan sales can be monitored against sustainability targets and associated limits. With GreenCap, banks can also seamlessly produce Scope 3 disclosures and public statements with financial implications related to climate change. On November 20 this year, SEB, a major Swedish bank, gave an ultimatum to its borrowers to reduce their carbon emissions or risk termination of credit facilities moving forward. With the GreenCap, the Chief Sustainability Officer would be able to assess the portfolio's green exposure positioning, design a strategy to be in line with the board's policy, and monitor adherence. US banks have made inroads around sustainable finance but have used only Scope 3 disclosures as a benchmark. A group of banks recently announced that they were seeking a stronger link to the financial side of the balance sheet to support these efforts. GreenCap can be readily used as a framework to bridge their ambition and demonstrable actions. By using GreenCap, the Chief Sustainability Officer has created a plan that is credible, that explicitly ties its capital requirements, profitability, and green policy targets within defined thresholds, and can be reported in the bank's annual report. GreenCap is designed to be easily implemented and managed. It will be offered through Finastra's FFDC as a managed service, with all tasks and upgrades performed by Greenpoint. Users will have a short 3 steps for initial login and start using the platform. The inception of GreenCap was catalyzed by Hack to the Future and will be ready to go live in March 2021. Banks and regulators have to make decisions before it is too late to protect their viability and to contribute towards preventing environmental disasters. Banks have to choose between proactively curtailing lending to carbon producers now, or face devastating hits to their entire loan portfolios in the future. A green economy awaits us. It will take relentless effort, but we have to step up and grab it.
Let us invest now for future generations. Let us make global warming extinct. Let us preserve our precious Earth.